Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. I got something really special for you today. This is something I think we should talk about earlier in the season than later on. As the title says, it's about the Clippers. Before we get into that, I just want to make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. Make sure to smash that like button like it owes you money. And let's get this video on the algorithm. And yeah, aside from that, let's get into it. So I've made a video of like this before. It was named, was it worth it for the Clippers to get Kawhi Leonard and Paul George? I'll put a link to it in the description or an info card up there. I suggest you guys should go check it out. It's kind of not the same thing, but it's the same principle. It's kind of predicated on that same principle. Are the Clippers what we thought they were? The reason I'm making this video actually is because the Clippers played the Warriors the other night, right? And you know, the Warriors, they're not what they used to be, right? The Warriors are probably 1/3 of what they used to be, right? So a team like the Warriors for the Clippers, easy money, easy win, get the win, get out of here. But that's not how it went down, right? So the game started and the Clippers first came out swinging, right? So they came out swinging, winning, they're outscoring the Warriors in every quarter, right? At one point, they outscored the Warriors by 20 points. After the halftime mark, the Warriors started doing what they normally do. They start mounting a comeback. So the Warriors start coming back. They start coming back. They start slowly but surely inching at that lead and chipping it away, right? And all of a sudden, we got ourselves a ball game. But as the Warriors was doing this, the Clippers did nothing about it, and they lost a 20-point lead. A 20-point lead with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and Lou Will, all the guys, the whole 9 yards on the team. And after watching that game, I came to the conclusion, I came to the epiphany, oh wow, holy, I need to sell my Clipper stock. It's official, I'm dumping my Clipper stock. I'm selling it while I still can get out. Because after watching that game, it made me realize and see what the Clippers are. The Clippers is just a bunch of smoke screens and mirrors and hype. That's it, that's it. You can't tell me that Kawhi Leonard is clutch, right? And it but gives up a 20-point lead. Like after watching that, I immediately thought it's over. Like now I see what they are. I need to sell my stock. I need to dump my stock. I need to stop believing in the hype, and I need to get off the hype train while I still can, because it is not worth it right now. Like what I'm seeing from the Clippers right now, it isn't worth it. I'm not seeing a championship team. I don't think I'm seeing a championship team. I think I'm seeing what I'm seeing last year. A bunch of hype, a bunch of smokescreen that when push comes to shove, they don't have it where it counts. And we first saw this last year, right? When the Clippers, a touted favorite, like a massive favorite, they were the favorites to win the NBA title last year, not the conference of the West. They weren't the favorites to win the West. They were the favorites to go the whole distance. And guess what happened? They got matched up with the young Denver Nuggets team. And like this game, they went up 3-1 on a series, right? But then what happened? The Nuggets start to push back. They start to punch back. They punch back, right? And the Clippers do nothing. And so the Nuggets are like, okay, well, why don't we do that again? So they punch back again, and the Clippers do nothing. And they punch back again, and next thing you know, it's 3-3 and going to a game 7. And we're asking ourselves, we're like, what just happened? What is going on? You guys are the Clippers. You guys are supposed to win the championship all year long. Everyone's telling us that you guys are the favorites, you guys are loaded, you guys are the deepest, you guys have the clutchest player, you guys have the best player in the league in Kawhi Leonard. And next thing we know, the Clippers blow a 3-1 lead. And so it's the same exact thing that happened. It's the exact same thing that happened the other night. The Warriors punched back and the Clippers kind of backed off. I was like, we don't want anything to do with you. Please don't hit us. And they're like, is this real? And so they punched him again. And they're like, please stop. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? And they punched him again. And next thing you know, the game's tied. And next thing you know, dagger in Paul George's face, and they lose the game. And I'm like, oh, holy, that's what the Clippers are. And there were a whole lot of smoke screens and mirrors. Just a huge hype job. But when push comes to shove, when they push you and you shove them back, they don't have it where it counts. They don't have it where it counts. And if you don't have it where it counts, you're not good enough to win a title. Teams like that don't win NBA titles. If you don't have it where it counts, you can't win it. You know what I mean? I don't think the Warriors are better than the Clippers at all, right? Because they won, you know, like it's one game, but they won. It's not that they won, it's how they won. They literally just came back and just punched the Clippers in the jaw, and the Clippers did nothing about it. They're like, can you not do that, please? I'm like, what? Supposed to be a dog. You guys bark all the time. They have these supposed dogs on their team, right? They got big macho man Patrick Beverly, who's always in everybody's face. He's like that chihuahua that barks a lot, that just bark. bark. But there's no bite. There's no bite. We have Kawhi Leonard, who everyone says is super clutch, is clutch because he hit a game winner in Toronto, but lost a 3-1 lead last year to a young Nuggets team. Blew a 20-point lead to a depleted Warriors team. You can't sit there and tell me, you can't sit there and look me in the eyes and tell me the Clippers are a good enough team to win the championship. If the Clippers played the Nuggets today, they would lose. In a 7-game series, they would lose. In a 7-game series, they would lose. If the Clippers played the Lakers today in a 7-game series, they'd get swept. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. They would literally get swept. Braun would have none of it. Like, Braun would eat them up for lunch. Braun would eat them up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, the Clippers team that I'm seeing right now, bro, what is going on with you guys? What is wrong with you? They get annihilated. Because right now, I'm seeing a whole lot of patterns. I'm seeing a pattern from last year spill into this year. They cannot win when they need to. When ish hits the fan, okay, man. They turn around and like, we don't know what to do. I thought that they weren't rallied enough under Doc Rivers as a coach to the point where they felt they could trust one another and back each other up. But they got a new coach in Tyronn Lue, and I'm seeing the same thing. I'm seeing the same pattern. They're weak, they're soft, and sometimes they're inconsistent, very inconsistent. One night they'll be really good, then the other night they get blown out by a team you didn't expect. And so you're like, man, then what is gonna go on, you know, right? Like Kawhi Leonard, everyone touts this guy as the best player in the league. Like, could you imagine being LeBron, right? Imagine you being LeBron, right? Being touted as the best, as a chosen one, right? From age 16 and living up to the hype every year and never failing to live up to the hype, right? Being the best player in the league, only for you to get compared to a guy like Kawhi Leonard, who, right, takes games off. If you did that, you'd get crucified. Who gets blown out by a depleted Warriors team, who loses a 3-1 lead to the Nuggets. Could you imagine if LeBron did any of that? Yet Kawhi does all of that, and people still have the balls to start going around and saying, "Oh, Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the league." Could you imagine how LeBron feels, bro? Like, Kawhi, where were you last year when the Nuggets were knocking on your front door? You just let them in. Where were you when the Warriors were knocking on your front door the other night? You just let them in your house. You're like, if you got home, what are you doing? Look, could you imagine? Like, I just think about that. LeBron is disrespected so much. Like, the things that Kawhi Leonard gets away with, LeBron would never in a million years even start to dream of getting away with. That's the difference between them. LeBron doesn't take nights off, load management. Well, some nights, but not as much as Kawhi does. Kawhi plays like, what, 68 games out of 82? LeBron could never, ever. If LeBron ever blew a 3-1 lead, that's it. They would bury him. The media would bury him. And Kawhi gets away with this. And the thing I hate the most is the reputation the Clippers get. That's what I hate the most. Dogs. Guys who are gonna get in your grill and bark at you, get in your face and bark at you. You guys are a bunch of chihuahuas in a league filled with pit bulls and bulldogs. That's what you guys are. And I've seen it. I've seen it from last year, and I saw it, and I'm seeing it again this year. Just all bark, 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 bark. No bite whatsoever. And the weakest link of all of them in this roster has to be Paul George. Holy man. Oh man, this guy is something else. Paul George is the weakest link out of the Clippers. Remember when a few games ago, Kawhi Leonard sat out. I don't know who they played. It wasn't one of these juggernaut teams, but they got blown out because Paul George had like what? I think he had like 15 points. And I was like, whoa, is this the same Paul George I used to watch growing up? Or am I tripping? Paul George is the weakest link in that. He went from dunking on LeBron and the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? And flexing his muscle to getting daggers in his face by Damian Lillard, by Stephen Curry, by Luka Doncic. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, oh man, oh how the mighty have fallen. You hate to see it. You really do. I hate to see it. I grew up watching this guy, you know, so I hate to see that, you know? Like, he's never been that same player ever since he broke his leg. Ever since that gruesome injury in 2014, he's never been the same. Never, ever been the same. Paul George used to do 360 windmill dunks in games, bro. I was like, and growing up, I was like, whoa, what the heck? I was like, whoa, yo, he's good. Paul George used to he took them 2013 Miami Heat, the best Heat team, and arguably the best LeBron has ever been in his life. He took that team to Game 7. That's, you know, I don't know what to tell you. And that coupled with the fact that the NBA is kind of like a Shark Tank. Once they smell blood and weakness in the waters, it's over. Once they smell that you're weak, they will come for you, you know, because they'll come for the weakest link in a chain, and that's PG. And we saw it last year because in the playoffs last year, when the Clippers were playing the Mavericks, Paul George was getting bullied in the playoffs by Stephen Curry's little brother, Seth Curry. Just say that sentence again. Well, this is a guy who used to go toe-to-toe with LeBron James in the Eastern Conference Finals to getting bullied by Steph's younger brother. The dude was calling Paul George things I can't even repeat on this channel, on this platform. And granted, they had a personal feud because there was a woman involved between the two of them. Paul George cheated on his girl, and then Steph is dating that girl now. So Seth was coming for him. He was giving him the business. He would score a bucket, he'd look at him, he'd be like, I was watching, I'm like, yo, is this? But the thing is, PG would do nothing about it. He'd just be like, oh, I'm trying, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do that. I'm like, bro, get in his face. Nothing. And so teams have realized that PG's weak. Last time when he was beefing with Damian Lillard, he also backed down. And so players in the league realized this guy is soft. He's soft. And they come for him. They talk that nonsense to him. They disrespect this guy, bro. Like, I feel bad for him. And to top it all off, he dubbed himself Playoff P. Only to get treated like this. Like, come on, bro. PG-13. PG-13 from the field. That's what we should call him. I feel so bad for him, but then at the same time, I'm like, bro, you're a grown man, bro. You're gonna let other grown men treat you like this? Like, him being soft and the inconsistent play that he's been giving in the past few years, like in a bubble, he disappeared. Not only was he soft, players realized that him being soft and you bullying him got to his game. It affected his game. And ever since then, that's all you need to do to PG. Take him out the game. Get under his skin. He can't handle it. Talk that nonsense to him. And then when he's out, right? When he's off his game, all the load now is on Kawhi Leonard. If Kawhi Leonard can't do it, Clippers are done. That's why we have to appreciate LeBron for, you know, he's 18 years or 17 years in the league, man, and he's been dealing with so much. And these guys, that's what comes with being the best in the league. You gotta deal with everything. Like, you cannot ever show weakness. You cannot ever lose the way Paul George and Kawhi Leonard lost in a playoffs last year. Ever. They would never let LeBron live that down. Ever. That's not happening. I just appreciate LeBron more, you know? Like, LeBron probably has a few more years left in him, and we're not gonna see him a lot. So his haters right now, all I can tell you is enjoy him while he's here. Because we see what the alternative is, you know? Like, this guy's been doing it for 17 years, ever since he stepped up on a court at 18. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. I know, like, some of these guys, they fold, and they can't deal with the pressure of being the best guy. They can't deal with the pressure when someone talks that nonsense to them. Remember, LeBron used to talk that nonsense to Steph in the playoffs, in the finals. Be like, yo, tell Ayesha Curry, cook me some curry too, man. I'm like, yo, I'm here for this. Like, but to me, they're just not a contender because of these problems. They're not a contender because they're inconsistent in their play. They're good one game, terrible the next. Paul George is too soft for the playoffs, especially for being in the West. These are gonna come at you fast. They're gonna come at you, and they're gonna let you know. And number 3, Kawhi Leonard takes a bunch of games off, which can put them, and if you're taking a bunch of games off and you're relying on Paul George to win you those games, not gonna happen. So you might fall in the seeding. You may fall to number 4. And I don't for a second, on this day today, I don't for a second believe that the Clippers can win the championship. I believe the Nuggets are better than them, the Lakers are better than them, and I think in a 7-game series, maybe the Warriors could do them in. I'm not even joking. Like, and you're in the West, bro. You're in the West. You gotta get through LeBron. LeBron's gonna be there waiting. I'm picking LeBron and the Nuggets again for the conference finals. No, that's too early. I shouldn't make that prediction right now. No, I'll make a video about that. Just because of those few things, I can't pick the Clippers. I can't pick the Clippers to win it. They are a hype job. They're just a hype job. I don't believe the hype. I'm selling my stocks, and I hope you guys sell your stocks too. You know, your eyes work better than your ears. You can hear all this, whatever, the Clippers or whatever. Watch what you see. If it doesn't check out, sell the stock. That's all I'm gonna say. And with that being said, I just want to make sure that you guys like, subscribe, and comment. And thank you guys for tuning in.